with another talk. Yet again, we are here with Soviet Russian Bear, also known as Yuri. Yuri, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome. I'm doing great, thank you. Yeah, it's always a pleasure. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Good to see you again. We've got some good comedy lined up for today. We're going to do some
Yeah.
serious topics, but we're also going to do some lighthearted topics. One of the
Yes.
first things that I wanted to get into was this proposed attack on Crimea, because we were going to discuss that in our earlier video, but we never got around to it for whatever reason. Here is a map that has been presented. Let me zoom in a bit. That has been presented in I can't remember whether it was American or British general, but one of these generals said that they're going to launch a massive drone strike and take out the Russian bases, and then they're going to come in on land and take over Crimea. What do you think is the likelihood of something like that happening?
Well, the likelihood of something, it's highly unlikely. Even if they attack Crimea, well, all of their previous attacks have been repelled, and the drones were destroyed. And to attack Crimea from a safe distance, they need the U.S. ATACMS long-range missiles. And as far as I remember, the U.S. is not really willing to give Ukraine such weaponry.
Yeah. So basically, you're saying it's highly unlikely and is dreaming.
Yeah, highly unlikely. And even if they send land forces to Ukraine or to Crimea, I'm sorry, the Crimean people are very, very pro-Russian. I'm sure all of the Crimean men and even elderly and even children are going to take weapons and repel the attack, because the pro-Russian sentiment in Crimea is very, very high.
Yeah, it's a
As
high
for the
concentration
attack
of pro-Russian.
Yeah, as for the drone attacks, so far all of the drone attacks on Sevastopol and Crimea have been repelled successfully or with minimal damage.
Yeah.
And
that is true.
the marine drone attack on probably they damaged one ship, like this frigate, but most of these attacks have been repelled.
Yeah, for those that have been following, that is very much the case, that all the drone attacks have been you can say at best very poorly successful. At best.
Very poorly, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the other topics that I wanted to get into, now that we got Crimea impossible scenario out of the way, by the way, like, share, and subscribe for more comedy. Good comedy show.
Yeah.
People are already telling me in the comments that I should move to Rumble just in case. So the comedy here is so good that we might get kicked off of YouTube, so you never know. And this show is going to be very, very funny, because we have some no Nazis in Ukraine stuff lined up for you, and there are all kinds of Indian peace symbols jokes. But let's get into the details of Soviet Russian Bear. Tell us why you decided to be called Soviet Russian Bear, while I play some music in the background.
Okay, so why did I decide to call my channel as Soviet Russian Bear? Well, I told you in the previous years that I was inspired by Syrian girl partisan Mimi inspired me to open my channel, basically, to make videos on Russia and Syria. But so I was choosing a name for my channel, and I wanted to call, as she called herself, Syrian girl. So I wanted to call myself a Russian boy or Russian guy, Russian man. But then I thought to myself, nah, man, that's too generic and that's too copycat. I don't want to copy her. I'm inspired, but I don't want to make a flat out copy of her channel. So I thought to myself, well, I'm a huge Command and Conquer fan, as you know. We discussed it.
Yes,
And
yes, you did.
yeah, and the latest back then the latest Command and Conquer Red Alert is Red Alert 3, Red Alert 3 Uprising. So in Red
Mm-hmm.
Alert 3, there was a main musical title, Soviet March.
Mm-hmm.
So in this song, there were words like "Столица, водка, советский медведь." So I decided to call myself Soviet Bear,
Mm-hmm.
which is in Russian советский медведь.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah. So, but then it's called Soviet Bear Russia, Soviet Bear Rus. But then back in 2016, I decided to change the name Soviet Russian Bear, like in Soviet Russia jokes or something like that. Soviet
Mm-hmm.
Russian
Oh,
Bear.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and then when the SMO started, I added the ZOV to my channel, the ZOV, as
Mm-hmm.
a like as many people who support the SMO did, and the ZOV actually means call, a calling in Russian, a call for
Mm-hmm.
something like Zov of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
call of yeah, Zov. So yeah, that's basically it.
All right. And considering you appropriated the the Soviet, let's say, personality, what does the actual word Soviet mean to you? And what does communism mean to you? And how does the average Russian or you or your family feel about the Soviet past or evil Stalin or all these communism is bad ideas from everybody in the West, basically.
Well, my grandma is nostalgic for the Soviet times. My mom is not that nostalgic, but
Hmm.
she is not exactly the. She maybe not. She does not support the communist ideas and the ideology, but she says that
Hmm.
in USSR they had free this and free that, and
Hmm.
um, basically my family, none of my family actually lived under Stalin. Like my grandma was like 10 years when the Stalin died. And what should I say myself about the USSR is just another part of history, of Russian history. It's just like the Russian Empire, the Russian Tsardom, the Moscow Principality. It's history. Yes, it had its ups and its downs, and we in Russia have people who believe they're still citizens of the USSR and they reject the
Yeah, I've
RF
seen that.
passports.
I've seen
Crazy
those.
people,
Yeah, yeah.
crazy people. Yeah, but still, under the USSR, we have won the bloodiest war in history.
Hmm. So
It's
would
something
you
to be,
say
and
to
the
most
USSR
Russians?
was Soviet
Mo-
Union was the first man. Soviet Union
mhm.
launched the first human being in space.
Yeah, yeah. So for most Russians, would you say that the Soviet Union is something good that they look back upon? If nothing else, it's what saved them from fascism, right? And from Nazis.
Yes, I think I can safely say for the majority of Russian people in Russia it is true. Well, there is a pro-Western minority who say that
Hmm.
USSR was absolutely evil, it shouldn't have
Hmm.
existed. But even I think Russian monarchists who can think for themselves, they respect the fact that the Soviet Union won the one of the most bloodiest conflicts in history, Great Patriotic War or World War II.
You
But
mention Russian monarchists. Is there a lot of Russian monarchists in Russia these days? Like, what percentage of the general population would you say?
I cannot say for sure. I don't know really,
All right, all
but
right.
there are.
And what about communists? Like, Russia has a communist party, right?
Yes, yes, there are people who vote for it, but mostly I think the majority of the Communist Party voters are actually pensioners who are nostalgic for the Soviet days.
All right. All right. So, Soviet Russian bear. I like it. It's good to know the background of your story and also your views on the Soviet history and culture that you've been exposed to. So basically, your opinion is that it's like any other part of history. It's something in your
Yes,
past.
yes,
Excellent.
yes.
Excellent. The next topic that we've got lined up for our viewers is Wagner. Um, Can we get into Wagner and whether they are
Yes.
part of the Russian military or are they crazy mercenaries? Why don't you tell us about it?
Well, officially they are not part of the Russian military, but I think de
Hmm.
facto they are. They just sign contracts. They sign contracts not with the Russian government, the Russian military, but with the Yevgeny Prigozhin and his company. But I think, in fact, they are like a Russian shadow army. Uh, Officially they are not a Russia, they are not part of the Russian military, but in fact they are. Basically they have the same purpose as the Russian army. Like, how do you well, let's remember how Wagner was created. Actually, it was created in 2014 in Donbass, right?
Remind people. Yeah, most people don't know.
Yeah,
Tell us about the
the
story.
PMC Wagner was first created in 2014 in Ukraine, Donbass.
Hmm.
Like, how do you want to help pro-Russian militants in Ukraine to fight the Kiev regime? But how? Send troops directly. This means an invasion, an aggression against a sovereign state, and
Hmm.
the world, the West, will condemn it and impose sanctions like they did after the SMO.
Hmm.
So, how do you help pro-Russian militants without getting involved directly? Create a paramilitary organization which is not officially the Russian army. It's just like a bunch of individuals uh, with no connections to the Russian army, but they can fight. They are good warriors. They're good soldiers,
Hmm.
but officially they don't wear insignia. But in fact, if we look at it honestly and factually, they are part of Russian army. They are just not official. Like they are shadow Russian army.
You know, I've heard that even regular forces troops sometimes join Wagner because the Wagner troops always have the better action. You know, where the Russian troops are saved and like the regular forces, I'm saying, are saved and like are not sent always to the front. The guys who want more action choose to go to Wagner for more pay. Is this true?
Yes, I heard some motorized rifle company and an entire motorized rifle, not battalion, but a company said we want to join Wagner because these guys get more action and these guys are getting paid better.
Yeah, there's also that. There's also that. They also get better money. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think it's much better. I think it's like 200-300 euro better overall per month. But like, it still is better. It's not less. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
heard that Wagner medics, they get paid like their wages 500,000 rubles per month. 500,000 rubles a month.
I forgot my Russian conversion rates. What exactly is 5,000 rubles per month in like euro and dollar?
500,000. 500.
500,000. Yeah, yeah, yeah. How much is that? That's like 8 thousand euros, something like that. Five to 8,000
Oh,
euros,
you want
my
to
guess.
euro or dollar?
Doesn't matter. It's the same now.
Okay, so
Economic collapse.
500,000. 500,000. Okay. Okay, mm, come on. What's wrong with it?
It's shy because it's live.
Five,
Subscribe for more technical
500,
difficulties. And don't forget to find the working brother on Telegram.
500,000. Oh, it's 500,000 is like 6,000
Yeah, that's
six
what I thought.
thousand
Hmm.
$631 and six thousand two
A million
hundred
is about 12.
thirty.
A million is about 12, basically, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah,
Something like that.
yeah. So
Do you feel the effect of sanctions, like in your bank account? Do you feel like you've lost money from your savings? Like, do you feel your savings is worth less or more since the SMO started and since the ruble jumped?
no, no, I don't.
All right. It's a good
So let's
answer.
continue.
Very, very, very simple. The next topic that you've got lined up for us is whataboutism. What is whataboutism?
Well, basically, it's actually um, some sort of a logical, I don't know, fallacy. Basically, this is what the West apologists and Ukraine apologists are accusing me
Hmm.
of doing. What about when I say, uh, well, Russia, they say Russia is bad, Russia is evil, it invaded Ukraine and blah, 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 blah. And then I
Hmm.
say, but the NATO invaded, they bombed Yugoslavia, they invaded Iraq, Afghanistan,
Hmm.
they bombed Libya.
Hmm.
Oh, you shut up with your whataboutism, Ruski. Your whataboutism is not, like, basically, when I call out Western apologists on their hypocrisy, they scream whataboutism. That's
I've
what it is.
I've heard it used in different ways, but I haven't heard it used like that. But that must be annoying. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
Basically, so you're saying whenever you present logic or facts,
yeah.
the only thing that they can say is what don't use whataboutism.
Yeah, yeah. One of them says, "Spare me of your whataboutism, Ruski. You're evil."
Well, you are evil. You're Russian. And I'm Serbian. I'm even more evil. I was evil before you were evil. You know,
Yeah,
we eat
but
babies, man. Dude.
basically, whataboutism is about who are you to judge? Like the
Hmm.
U.S. You have no authority. You have no moral high ground.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the West and the US have no moral high ground to judge Russia or to call Russia evil.
Hmm.
That's what I wanted to say by that's what I mean by whataboutism.
Yeah. Russia was unprovoked, man. Don't you know? Like
Hmm.
Putler is crazy. Link in
Yeah.
the link popping up now.
Yeah, yeah.
um, Russia is what did that woman say that you should go to Florida? You should go to Florida, man. Just give up.
Yeah,
Just give up. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And the oligarchs will take care of everything. That's
yeah. Oh no,
imagine
she
that was
said
your.
oligarchs. She said oligarchs
I
will
know
kill
what she said.
Putin.
I know what she said. I didn't want to say that, but it's just funny. It's just funny that like that is like a normal thing to say. You know, like
Mhm,
5 years ago or two
mhm,
years ago, if somebody said that, you'd put
mhm,
them in a
mhm.
psychological institution. Yeah. So what aboutism? Let's. What about some no Nazis in Ukraine, huh? Can we
Oh
do no
yeah,
Nazis
sure.
in
I
Ukraine?
love that topic. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no Nazis in Ukraine is one of the best topics.
Absolutely, no,
Uh,
there are
uh,
no
uh,
Nazis. No, 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 no.
we all know that Putin is crazy. So when he said
Yeah.
when he said that he has to denazify Ukraine, everybody. Actually,
Mhm,
before we even start with the no Nazis in Ukraine, I want to ask you something because I'm a Serb from
yeah.
Yugoslavia, and we fought against the Nazis, and you're a Russian,
Mhm,
and
yeah.
you fought against the Nazis.
Yes. Yes.
So, and I have a friend from Austria, and when this SMO started, he didn't understand this denazification. He told me like, "What do you mean
Mhm,
Nazis in Ukraine?" And I told him, like, what does Nazi mean to you? And he told me, well, Nazi
mhm,
to me means like, National Socialists who kills Jews. I'm like, yeah, that's nice, but more than Jews, they killed Russians, and somewhere in between the Jews and the Russians, they killed Serbs or Yugoslavs. Um,
yeah.
so the perception of what a Nazi is very different for different people. So what exactly
Yeah.
is a Nazi for you? Like as a Russian, I'm saying, as a Soviet
Mhm.
bear.
Yeah. For me, a Nazi is is a person who follows the national socialist ideology and who admires Hitler and Nazi collaborators like Vlasov or Bandera, Andrei Vlasov and Stepan Bandera. And
Hmm.
the Nazi is a person who admires Stepan Bandera. Hitler follows the National Socialist ideology, and a Nazi is a person who is an extreme Russophobe, who wants to kill all Russians, who wants to exterminate Russians, and basically that's my definition of a Nazi. If we talk about Ukraine.
Like that's very important because most people wouldn't think of that last thing that you said. That is very anti-Russian because at the end of the day, like the Germans, the no Germans, they were anti-Jew to begin with, and then they became anti-Slav, and then they finished it off with being anti-Russian. You know what I mean? So from
Yes.
your perspective, the anti-Russian is very prominent, you know? And also, like, that is basically the reason for the Banderite movement. They are basically anti-Russian. Well, they're also kind of anti-Pole and anti-Jew, if you pay attention to the history. But
But
yeah,
above all, they anti-Russian. And why
yeah,
did I mention Jews? Because the neo-Nazis in Ukraine, they are not as much anti-Semitic as they are anti-Russian. Well,
exactly.
for FFS, for fuck's sake, Zelensky is a Jew himself,
Yeah. Well, you
and
know what
his
Lavrov
granddad
said.
fought against the Nazis in Ukraine,
I know,
but he
I know.
supported the
I saw that.
Banderites.
I saw that.
Yeah.
It's a shame to his family's heritage, but and his memory and the memory of his like predecessors. In any case, it's very interesting to keep this anti-Russian perspective in mind as we watch
Yes.
some of the next videos. You've got a video on your channel, short, because
Yes.
shorts have become
Yeah.
popular now. I can't believe that they haven't deleted you for this, but this is funny because there
Yeah.
are no Nazis in Ukraine. Remember?
Zeke Hiles? What Zeke Hiles? This is just how Ukrainian soldiers greet each other, you moron! There are no Nazis in Ukraine! The president is Jewish! And these are Russians dressed in Ukrainian uniform!
All right.
Yeah.
So you do a
The,
very good
the reason why
impression.
I said the last, yeah, yes, I did impression, but the reason why I said the last thing is because
Mhm.
there was some guy on Telegram, and I show him photos of Ukrainian Nazis doing the salute, and he says
Yeah,
this could be Russians dressed in Ukrainian uniform
of
to
course it could
make a
be.
yeah.
We have a whole slideshow of Russians dressed in Ukrainian tattoos and Ukrainian uniforms. Um,
What did you want to say? Impression about
oh, it was a very good impression that you did of NATO bot or like a liberal
yeah,
who thinks they know something and has no idea about the facts. But
yeah.
and they can
Thank you
just
for
scream at you. It's exactly the whataboutism. Yeah, we're gonna leave a
yeah,
link in the description to your channel.
yeah,
People can
yeah.
get more interesting takes
Hmm.
from Soviet Russian Bear. Let's go to some of these other pictures that we've got lined up here. Both plus TV. There we go. So this is. Let me zoom in for the viewers a bit. Notorious Ukrainian Nazi. It's a video that I didn't bother to download because it's only him speaking. But he's in a shopping mall in Kiev. But there's no Nazis
Yeah.
in Ukraine because
No, no,
this is
no.
this is not Ukraine. This is country
Hmm.
404. Um,
Hmm.
this guy was arrested by what are they called? Belarusian security services. Um,
Hmm.
it's not only in Ukraine that there's none of them. There's none of them in Belarus
Hmm.
also or Russia that are all
Hmm.
being arrested. This for the viewers if they want to pause the video and look through some of the details of all of these no Nazi Ukrainian formations and the random emblems in history. Oh, this one's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, funny in a tragic and comedic and like ironic way. This is a woman who was tragically injured by basically an anti-air from Ukraine hitting a building. And when people went through her Instagram account, they found out that she was also a Nazi. So, like, there's no Nazis in Ukraine. There's absolutely none.
Yeah.
Here we go, talking about the Jewish and the Nazi thing. Jewish Ukrainian soldier was on a train yesterday to Kiev. This is a while ago, by the way. Some of these are older posts for those that follow stuff day to day, but this is just a collection that I gathered in like 10 minutes just to make a point here. Oh, here's another Belarusian who went to fight against Russia, the evil Russians, and he was taken out and sent to the server, as they would say. Oh, and this is Paul Massaro,
the U.S. senior advisor.
Yeah, there you go. U.S. senior advisor. I was trying to remember what exactly he was. But he's supporting a badge
Stepan
with
Bandera.
Yeah, and he later even defended it in the tweets, and like he went into a whole discussion like he knows what it is. It's not like, oh, I didn't know. He can't claim that anymore. So yeah, there's that. But there's no Nazis anywhere. Not even Ukraine,
Nazis,
anywhere. Oh, this is a good one. Some no Nazis in Ukraine, fun with flags.
Fun with flags.
1990s, 2000s, and these days.
Present day.
Yeah. Fun with flags. Here's another fun with flags. This is a classic also. Because
these are just
Indian peace symbols.
Yeah, these are Russians dressed in Ukrainian uniform. Yeah.
Carrying Indian peace symbols. These have nothing to do with no Germans or Nazis. This is an Indian peace symbol, and people just don't know. Oh, here we go. Recruitment. Olden days recruitment and new days recruitment, with even saying protecting Ukraine since 1943. I wonder what happened in Ukraine in 1943. I don't remember what happened. I'll have to check my history. Oh, this is Newland. We all know who Newland is from all her interesting statements, both for Congress and in hacked or leaked audio. This is Zelensky's official Instagram. For anybody who doesn't know what this symbol here is, it's from Wikipedia. You can go look it up. But there's no Nazis in Ukraine.
No. This is just a Russian dressed in Ukrainian uniform. Yeah.
On Zelensky's account.
Yeah.
Like Russian propaganda, it can like teleport, it can hack, it can go back in time. It's like Russian propaganda.
Zelensky. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just Russian propaganda.
The Russian hackers from Killnet hacked the account, Zelensky account.
This is the Pope, the current one.
The Pope.
Receiving a flag from the Azovstal guys. And there's many videos that I can, those people who delivered him the flag, there's videos of what they've done in their past. And talking about those videos is not for YouTube, let alone showing them. So yeah, the Pope is officially receiving, gifts from Nazis. But then again, popes being Nazis is nothing new, because, we all know this guy, Pope Benedict, the old Pope. Yeah, the previous Pope, who as a kid was, Hitlerjugend. Accident, man. Has nothing to do, like, it's, Russian propaganda. This is just a random prisoner that the Russians, a random soldier that has surrendered and been captured. No Nazis in Ukraine.
No. Absolutely no.
And even worse than Nazis, there's no misanthropes. Like people who hate living things. No. Living beings. No. There's no Satanists, no misanthropes, no.
No.
These are stuff that's been discovered on positions that have been cleared. Oh, look.
Yeah.
Historically, no Nazis in Ukraine. There never was Nazis in Ukraine.
Never. Yeah.
Not only are they not there now, they never were there.
Mhm.
Here's a cartoon that pretty much sums up. It sums up
Yeah.
what you were
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Evil Russians. Evil Russians are the
Yes.
Nazis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some more no
Oh,
Nazis in Ukraine.
some more Russians dressed in Ukrainian uniform. Yeah.
They must be. They must be.
Yeah.
And this sign here doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean yeah.
No, it's not from like
No,
some
no.
floor design
Yeah.
in some castle. Oh, and
Mhm.
tourist Nazis. Tourist Nazis
Oh yeah,
from Italy.
Italian.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Tourist Nazis from the
And this
country
plane
of
is in
swine.
Bakhmut.
But there's no foreign mercenaries in Ukraine either.
No, not at all. These
No
are all
Nazis, no foreign
volunteers.
mercenaries. Oh wait, I almost forgot. We have video of no Nazis in Ukraine. Hold on, let me get
Oh,
that.
yeah,
Let me
yeah.
get that loaded. We have video of no Nazis in Ukraine.
No Nazis. Yeah.
Indian peace. No, this one. This is
Oh.
Давай. Was wollen wir trinken? 7 Tage lang. Was wollen wir trinken? So ein Durst. Wie so gut wir alle sein. Jetzt kommen zusammen.
no Nazis
Вічний
in
український
Ukraine.
танкіст.
No Nazis in Ukraine.
No,
Russian propaganda. Russian propaganda. No Nazis. No Zigheils.
No.
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 I mean, people who. Oh, this is a good one. You actually haven't seen this, so let me put this full screen for everybody. This is a cartoon channel that is popular on Telegram. It's the Nazi dream of going to America.
Oh yeah.
Of the Ukrainian piggy. All credit goes to the creator. And I have a feeling that like they're gonna strike me for the music, so I'll turn it down. But it's hilarious. Look at him, he's enjoying his life. There are no Nazis in Ukraine, by the way.
No.
Look at him. Oh, he's loving it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent.
Yeah.
I think we've seen. Oh no, I think there's another one. Is there another one? No, that's it. That's the dog again. So we've
No.
seen all the Nazis in Ukraine. There wasn't many.
Yeah.
It was a very few examples.
Yeah.
Like we had
Yeah,
to
very few,
really
yeah.
dig hard. Like it's been
Yeah.
like a year of SMO, and we've only found
Yeah.
these examples. I really think you should stop believing the Russian propaganda and move to California
Yeah,
or
sure, yeah.
Florida.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yuri, anything else you'd like to
Yeah.
say other than the usual? Keep calm and wait for Russians.
Yeah. I mean, no, nothing more. Like, yeah, keep calm and wait for Russians and PMC Wagner group. They are awesome. They are awesome guys.
They're definitely doing the hard work. Them and
Yeah.
the DNR forces seem to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting in the Donbass.
Yeah.
Yuri, thank
And
you
the
for
Russian
stopping by
army is
again.
also.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
go
Russian
ahead.
army is awesome. Yeah, Russian army is also awesome. Don't get me wrong. Especially the artillery and the air force and the tankers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the Navy and the calibers.
And the Navy.
I like the calibers.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I also
think-
like, yeah.
I think a lot of things need to be calibrated across the
Yeah.
whole world, not just in Ukraine.
And the geranium drones.
Also, those are very fun. They sound like
Yeah.
mopeds.
Yeah.
Yuri, Soviet Russian
Mopeds
Bear.
of doom.
Mopeds of Doom. Thank you for stopping by. It's been an
Yeah.
amazing another recording. Everybody, thank you for sticking around, taking it out with some
Jumbo.
music. Have fun.
Yeah.
Bye bye.